Welcome to Cage Minds. I'm Mika Frankl, and once again, joined by Chris Breezy the Future Brown, ahead of LFA 90. How you doing, sir?
Doing great. How you doing?
Oh, man, surviving. Wild days these times, trying to keep up with everything. You?
Same here, man. Just maintaining, getting ready for this fight, man. Ready to live.
It's never easy being Breezy, and last time I talked to you, you're moving to welterweight. We had a tough wrestler opponent who was going to fight you, and I swear, by the time I hit publish on the interview, I'm getting told
He
there's
was
a
down.
change of opponent.
You know how it goes.
And then so Ignacio Bahamondes, he jumps in, willing to take the fight.
On like 4 or 5 days' notice, he took the fight.
So big props to him. That's who you're going to be fighting again here at LFA ID. But what happened? You get up to South Dakota. What are you able to tell us about the situation?
So me and Wink fly out there. We're together. We meet up at the airport. We fly. We ate together at the airport. We fly. We make our way all the way out there. Get off the flight. And they shuttled us to the hotel. As soon as we got to the hotel, we had to take the test. So we just took our stuff to the room and then came right back down and took the COVID test. And then we went for a 4-mile run. Everything was fine, felt fine. The next morning, cut weight the next morning. And 30 minutes before weigh-in, my manager calls me and says, hey, I got bad news. I was like, what? He's like, your test came back positive. I'm like, what? I was like, what about Winks? He's like, nah, Winks is negative. Everybody's is negative except yours. I'm like, what the hell? Like, how does that work? So they got me a rental car because I couldn't fly because I had a COVID test. So they rented me a rental car, got me a BMW. So I was on my way back to New Mexico from Sioux Falls, and I was in Nebraska, about 5 hours away from the venue, and a deer jumped out and wrecked the car. Came out of a ditch and then ran right into me. Didn't go away, tried to avoid me. He just ran right into my car and had the engine fluid leak out and everything. So it was not drivable at all. So I ended up stranded in Nebraska, Alma, Nebraska, for about 3 or 4 days. From Thursday to Sunday, I was there. So finally made it back. And then started my little quarantine and, did the 2 weeks of quarantine. And then they told me I took another test and I got a negative test. So, went back to training.
So you never found out if you were fully positive, if you had it, if you were asymptomatic, if it was a false positive, you never found out anything?
They didn't tell me nothing because I tried to get them to let me take another test when I was there, and they wouldn't. So, because I was the same thing. I was like, man, what if it's a false positive or, false, anything could happen. But they wouldn't let me retest. So when I got back out here, I wasn't trying to keep taking a whole bunch of tests because I would have had to take a test anyway. If I would have took a test as soon as I got back, I would have still had to take another test for LFA after the little quarantine area was done. So I'm like, I'm not about to keep taking a bunch of these tests and have them stick that stuff in my nose. So it's like, I'm going to just wait it out. And then it came back negative, and I've had friends, they had theirs were negative and were positive and stuff like that. So it's just, who knows? Because they tested the whole gym. Out of 60 tests, only two other people had it.
So with you, there were 3 positives then?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right. Out of 60 of you guys in there.
Yeah.
Figure there would be more of you guys actually in there. So now you test negative, call your manager, tell him what, book me a fight right away?
Man, when I tested positive the first time, the next day when they canceled the fight, I called my manager the next day. I was like, call them right now and reschedule this fight for next month. I was like, we already found an opponent who was down to take the fight in 4 days, so he should be down to take the fight with a full camp. So call them back and reschedule it right now. And they did. He was saying he wasn't available until till the 4th, so we were like, cool, that's cool with us. So we got he got him a full camp. I got me another full camp, and we're ready to go.
Okay, so how's camp for LFA 90? Actually, a full camp preparing for Ignacio. How's that been?
Oh, man, I've had an amazing camp. Like, I've been feeling so good. Like, this is the best I've ever felt, like, getting ready for a fight. Like, never had this much energy. Never, like, how usually my interviews at this point, I'm more drained. I'm like, we're only, like, a week away, so I'm usually dying already, like, trying to maintain. But after my little 2-week quarantine from the last fight, I was around, like, 200 pounds for the beginning of this for camp. Got my weight back up.
Oh, so the quarantine weight kind of got on there a little bit?
Yeah, because I'm always around 95 when I'm not in camp. So I was up to the first day back, I was 197 after practice, after both practices. And you know how much I sweat. So I was definitely at least 200 that day when I came back.
And the whole time, since the sickness even, you've had no symptoms and you're still feeling fine this whole time, right?
The only thing I can say, like how when you have allergies, you feel like your nose is running a little bit, but my nose, when I would try to blow it, nothing happened. There was nothing there. And that's literally all that it was. And they were saying that, fatigue, because I said I was sleeping a lot, but I was sleeping out of boredom because we had that heat wave, so it was 100 degrees every day. So I couldn't do anything. So I'd get up, play the game, and, bullshit for a little bit, then take a nap. So that's all I was doing, just like playing a game, bullshitting, and then sleeping because there's literally was nothing else to do.
How random is walking around Alma, Nebraska? I think I saw a couple
me walking through the streets.
videos of Breezy. I'm walking up and down the one street here.
No stoplights. People looking at me all crazy because they see a black man walking down the street and they're like, whoa, what's he doing out here? Like, you can tell, like, they were just surprised to just see me walking down the street. Like, all these people are driving by. It's like, they'll wave, but it's like the surprised wave. They're like, what's he doing out here? Why is he walking down the street? Yeah, they're like, what is going on out here? Yeah, people were just like, hey, what are you doing? But I must say the people that I did talk to in the town were all friendly. They all treated me nicely, though. So that was good because, it could have been a lot worse. When the officer came to pick me up because I couldn't drive the car, he's like, all right, so where do you want to stay? Because I had just passed through that little town. So he's like, all right, you got a couple choices of hotels I can take you. He's like, there's a low-end one, there's a middle of the road, and then there's the Super 8. So Super 8 was the best hotel that they got. So I said, man, take me to the Super 8. Like, I'm not about to play with y'all. Like, I'm not about to go end up in the boonies. I'm not playing with nothing. Like, no load. Like, I want to feel safe. It's nice and bright. It's the biggest hotel y'all got. Like, yeah, take me over there.
And it took days to get a rental car for you to be able to drive back is what happened?
I had to get picked up because I was like, where we were was too far for any enterprise to bring me a car because the tow trucks will only go 150 miles. So everywhere that had a car was over 150 miles because the only place that was like close enough was like 80 miles away, but it was across state lines. So the tow trucks won't go across state lines. So the airport had cars, but it was 180 miles away. So they couldn't bring me a car from the airport. Yeah, so Erica had to come pick me up.
Wow. See, that was the whole story I was looking for. You'll never forget Nebraska, right?
Man, I'll never forget all that corn.
So that is definitely something. And if you follow Chris along on the social media, you know that the lifesaver for him is he always carries his Xbox, I think, with him.
My PlayStation.
Your PlayStation, sorry.
On deck. Anywhere I go, I got my backpack with my PlayStation 4 in there. And it sure came in handy. Because it's the best thing. Like when I go for a fight, I put it on. I can watch my movies. I can watch, YouTube. I can do my thing. I can relax. I got my little media. I can watch fights. I can do whatever I need to do in the hotel.
So obviously be with you this week as you're heading back out to South Dakota for LFA 90. What did you learn now having a full camp to look into Ignacio?
Just what we already knew. Didn't really change anything that I was doing. I just getting in great shape, just making sure my cardio is amazing. Just working on different techniques with Greg and Wink. Just all I've been doing is just adding to my arsenal, and people will see a lot better version of myself. Because I'll tell you, I've been feeling amazing. And I cannot wait to show what I've been doing. I've been spending a lot of time sparring with Big Christian Edwards. So, and I know Christian's a way better fighter than this guy. Way bigger, too. Christian's a 205er. And he's taller and bigger. Because Christian's like 230 right now.
Wow, getting up there, getting big.
Yeah, he's like 220. They told me he was 230. I was like, man, he's 230, but yeah, at least 220 right now. So, that's who my main training partner has been this whole camp, as usual anyway. But, so I feel really good. I've been on point. I have been really, really on point. Everybody's been happy. Everybody can see what's going on. I just cannot wait to put on a show for you guys.
Are you still able to get excited for that of the fight is a week away? Or, it's been the layoff. We've had that last story, everything that happened. Going out there for a fight for you, I feel like, is going ice fishing. Like, is it really ice or is it going to crack under me?
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like, me, I'm like always trying to be positive, or like I just, just try to be in the moment. I was like, all right, we'll just deal with it when we get there. All we can do is hope that they show up, or hope that it goes through, that there's no funny business or anything. But at this point of my career, after everything that I've been through, I don't ever expect anything to go down until we actually, after the weigh-ins. Once we have both weighed in and we do our square off, that's the only time that I believe that a fight will actually go down.
Well, in contrary to at least the last couple fights, I don't think Ignacio is going to come out there with wrestling as his first game plan. You look, he has 5 wins by knockout. He's coming from Mike Valley's camp.
Yeah, he's going to come out there trying to strike with me.
Yeah, he's going to punch with you.
Mm-hmm. And I love that. I love that. So, I'm very excited for that because I've watched his videos. He doesn't have like a bunch of fancy strikes or anything. He likes to move around and try to throw leg kicks, or like Greg called him a broke version of me, a basic version of me. Because he's like, I've watched this fight, and probably the biggest person he's ever fought, because he's used to fighting all these little tiny dudes in Mexico. If you look at his fights, look at all his videos, he used to fighting all tiny dudes that he can just leg kick and drop.
So you're excited for the stylistic matchup?
Yes, I can't wait. Whatever opportunities to present itself, like, if he wants, I know he doesn't want to grapple. I know that's definitely not what after watching his fights, he don't want to grapple. We know that for sure. So, but I'm not going to go in there and try to wrestle fuck him. I'm going to go in there and put these hands and feet on his face.
But he's got 2 losses by submission on his record, so You wouldn't
Oh, yeah.
hesitate if the opportunity
It's
presents
there.
itself, right?
I imagine I'm gonna pick him up and double him on his head. If he gets, especially if he gets too close to me, he's gonna go for a ride because he's gonna try to keep his distance. He's gonna move around. He's gonna try to throw kicks from the outside, but he's slow. Like, I think he's very slow. I'm definitely gonna be the much faster fighter. I'm gonna be the stronger and faster fighter. He's used to fighting at 55 too. He's a little taller than me, but I've seen him in person. He's a skinny dude. He's tall and skinny. He ain't got no muscles.
So from where you were matched up from the last dude to this one, does it almost feel like Ignacio gives you an opportunity to make a more spectacular debut in the division?
Either one would have been fine with me because people would have actually seen my real potential, and I was looking forward to going against a wrestler so I could shut that up. So to remind people, I am a wrestler. I'm a state champ wrestler. I am certified. I'm one of the best wrestlers around. So I was looking forward to showing that and shutting him down with that stuff. But there will be opportunities to show that here soon. But I really, I think it is more of an exciting fight for the fans because the other guy was going to do nothing but try to, be basic, but it wasn't going to work what he was going to do. I know everybody saw that last fight and think that's the game plan. Like, that's what happens when you dehydrate and feel like death. And your body, you don't even make weight, and your body doesn't want to respond to things. So I'll never have to deal with that again. As I said, it just mentally is a huge difference from going from, walking around and when I was going from 190 to 155. And then, about time I get down there, how much my brain has dehydrated, I could tell the difference. Like, even this last cut, when I cut weight for the fight, I felt amazing. I hadn't felt that good. I never felt that good for a fight. My head was clear, and I felt great. Like, when I was fighting at 55, I would get down there, but I would feel real foggy. Like, my mind wasn't clear because, you're dehydrating your brain. At that point, I was having to cut the last 10, 15 pounds doing water weight and things like that because, it's a big drop. So physically and mentally, I'm in a much better spot.
And I don't want to over-exaggerate it, but it's like if you were trying to make 55, I don't care if you tested positive or not, no one's probably sending you in a car by yourself at that point 30 minutes before trying to make weight. Yeah, you got to drive now hours by yourself, right? That would not have been a safe.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been able to. I wouldn't have done it. If I was at 55 and at 55, I would have never have made that trip. I would have had to go sleep in the hotel room for a while before I could do that. I would have had to leave the next day.
So just even being able to function right before the weigh-ins and having that, wrench thrown in your plans, it's shown you were able to function and you were able to live still at 170.
Yes. Yeah, it would have been a struggle at 55. Just like my best friend just shared a picture from the last cut and, from the last 55 cut from January, looking like 50 Cent from that movie where he lost all that weight to be to look like a crackhead or a cancer patient or whatever he was doing. So he put us a side by side and had me looking crazy because I was all small and shriveled up, feeling like I was about to die. That is some. I wouldn't wish that on nobody. To be able to feel that way, it is horrible.
So one more time, what are your feelings and knowing that in 6 days you get to show off and show everybody what Breezy looks like when he's at full strength, at full capacity?
Oh man, I'm so excited. This is definitely nobody want to miss this. The stuff that I've been doing in practice and just how, the things that, that I'm capable of. So I'm it's going to definitely be eye-opening for people that don't know already.
You've had these ups and downs, and I already know nothing can keep you down. But where does that perseverance come from?
Just, growing up, Especially like, you know, in this country that we live in, you got to be tough. Like, especially as a black man, it's not easy out here. You know, we got to be worried about a little bit extra, you know, just to make sure we make it home. Uh, I don't, uh, just the way I was raised, man, I can't let nothing keep me down. Like, I've gone through so many obstacles, you know, I've had people trying to, you know, do me dirty. Um, the self-inflicted wounds, like all types of stuff that I've been through, and it's just taught me, you know, you can either sit and be a victim, or you can stand and, you know, fight for what you want.
And Chris Brown continues to fight to get to where he wants to go to make it to one of those big shows. The journey continues at LFA 90. We are a week away right now, so that's what, September 4th. Everybody can see
September
it.
4th.
Fight Pass.
Yep, UFC Fight Pass, September 4th. I'm so excited. Can't wait till everybody can see this. Excited to be back on UFC Fight Pass. You know, just ready to put on the show. Haven't fought since January, so you know I'm dying to get in the ring.
And then across the social media, everybody could keep up with him at Chris Breezy MMA. Who'd you need to shout out to, and who'd you need to thank?
I want to thank all my coaches and teammates, you know, that helped me get ready for this fight. Shout out to everyone who supports and shows me love. You know, I appreciate everything. You know, I get a lot of support, like especially like after the COVID thing. I did have a lot of people reach out to me, you know, especially just seeing like the deer and everything. So it felt good, you know, getting the love, but it was a bit overwhelming, you know, after a while, because everybody wants to know about COVID, like, oh, what's going on? How is it? How was it? How did you affect you? And this, and that. So it eventually it got a little bit too much, but I do appreciate everybody checking in on me.
Like we said, catch him LFA 90 on UFC Fight Pass.